weird. Whatever.
Okay.
Did you want to start with your joke?
Yeah, let's start it off. Okay. So it's a 3-part joke.
Okay.
First part is, why do you never see elephants hiding behind trees?
I feel like I may have. I don't remember it, but because they're too big. I don't know. You can see them.
Because they're good at it.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
That is a good one.
Why are the cherries in a tree red?
Because God made them that way.
Because elephants' balls.
Oh,
What's
okay.
the loudest sound in the forest?
Cherries getting picked.
A giraffe eating a cherry tree.
That's close.
It's a ridiculously stupid joke, but
That's
yeah,
a good
there
one.
you go.
It reminds me, I don't know if I can tell this one perfectly well, but there's one with, it's like a 3-part joke, but maybe it's only, 3-part joke. And you say, why did Sally die? A brick hit her in the head. And then you kind of wait a while, everyone's like, that was stupid. And then you come back and tell another joke about a plane, and let's see, I think it's something like you have these people on a plane and they have to get rid of things, and one of them gets rid of a potato, brick, something else, but it's a long enough gap that nobody remembers the story about Sally getting hit in the head with a brick, and then you bring it back around. I can't remember exactly how it is, though.
We just pull it all back together.
Yeah, it's a funny one. How we look, Tyson?
Pretty good.
Pretty good?
Yeah.
Good stuff. That's what I like to hear.
Nice.
What do you think of the studio?
Dude, it's cool. I like the whole house and everything. It's my first time in Atchison, obviously, with you here, so
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. And yeah, we were talking earlier about the
Soundboards, my acoustic panels.
Yeah,
Technically speaking.
which are cool. And you got some lights on that one, I see, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got some behind you as well. It's symmetrical. I told you we do Minecraft. It's symmetrical.
Yeah. Got to keep the symmetry up.
Oh, yeah.
Got to keep it alive.
Tyson knows Minecraft.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't tell you about Annika's little brother. He has a YouTube channel where he talks about all these speedrunners, and it's incredible. He just explains how we went from people speedrunning Minecraft in 13 minutes to like 14 seconds. And he explains the history of it. It's impressive. He's put a lot of work into videos.
That's really cool.
Collaborating other people's videos. He does a good job.
Yeah.
He's 13. I was never never doing anything like that.
No, I definitely wasn't either. I remember my brother Robbie. He is a computer programmer now, right? So he works at Paycom is the name of the company in Oklahoma City. And it was about when he was probably 13 or 14 when he programmed his first like game and got it online on like Congregate.
I kind of remember
Congregate
that.
Games.
Yeah.
And I remember him programming it, and it was like a tank like shooter game, like first-person shooter. And it was awesome. Like, Robbie, like, how the heck are you so smart? Like, what the heck? You're 13 years old. You're in middle school, like 7th grade. Like, why are you programming your own game right now?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I definitely wasn't doing anything like that.
I guess he kind of always knew that that's what he was going to do then.
Yeah, which is cool. That's always good to have something that you can kind of fall back on and just love.
Well, he seems to actually enjoy it, too. It's not just he decided to go into computer science because he's or computer engineering, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, he knows software and he enjoys it.
Yeah, and he speaks like 4 different code languages or whatever, and it just all goes over my head. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, coding is weird because every different language has its own specific purpose. So we use this one called MATLAB, and it's really useful for engineering stuff because it's good at doing a lot of different calculations really fast. And that's really the only one I know. I know the other ones, they're better for video games for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Because you can organize it a certain way, or you can just make all these different statements that give you your game. So I really don't know how it works. Do you know any other languages, Tyson? Any?
Maybe like Java or like Robot C, but like you said, they're kind of for their own purpose.
Yeah.
He does a lot of his stuff in C#.
Okay.
So he writes a lot of C# and Java. He's written some, and there's one other one that he does a lot of that I can't remember the name of.
Yeah.
But yeah, something like that.
Do you happen to remember Ben Stasny?
I don't know.
Okay. He's one of the podcasts that I did, and if you watch that one, he talks about, he's also computer engineering or computer science, I can't remember. But he knows all about that stuff as well. We talk about it. It went over my head.
Yeah.
It's all stuff that he starts to explain, and as soon as you start talking about bits and all the is it binomial? I I don't remember.
Binary sequences.
Binary.
Yeah.
When you start doing binary stuff, it just gets ridiculous. I don't like it. But
Yeah, I do finance. I'm like, I'll stick with the numbers of money, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think of the computer that the guy made in Minecraft?
Dude, it was wild.
Yeah.
I can't imagine thinking on that sort of scale to be able to like put all that stuff together and to just like my brain doesn't work like that to put it into such a big format.
Yeah.
And list it all out and stuff. Yeah.
It's incredible. That one, and what was the other one I showed you? The
Minecraft in Minecraft. Which,
that had to be a mod or something. I don't know how that guy could possibly do that without.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did I show you that one, Tyson?
I don't think you have.
I'll show you it later. That and this is wild. This guy is playing Minecraft, but the floor that he is standing on in Minecraft, I think he's in creative. So he's flying around looking at it, and it's the Discord user interface, and he brings a buddy in, and you can see when they're talking, and the floor tries to replicate the colors that are on his computer screen. So it's really weird. I have no idea how.
It's like a real time
Inception.
It's a real time showing of like his desktop monitor.
Yeah.
So he's got his desktop like showing real time in Minecraft. So as he clicks on something, like it'll pop up in Minecraft. And he pulled up a YouTube video and was watching a YouTube video in Minecraft. Like on his thing, and you're like, what?
How?
Yeah, it was crazy.
I don't quite get it.
So that was just cool.
Do you know anything about the metaverse?
Nah, I don't know. Maybe
I started looking into that briefly, and it's bizarre. So I first heard a podcast, somebody talking about how ridiculous the metaverse is, and how basically somebody paid like $450,000 to be neighbors with Snoop Dogg in the metaverse.
What's the metaverse?
So the metaverse is basically virtual reality that their Facebook created Meta, and they'll eventually be able to. Everybody's going to be encapsulated in the metaverse.
So it's kind of like if you remember the Office episode of Third Life with Dwight.
And he made himself.
Yeah, he made himself in Third Life and was like playing on the video game of himself. So it's a little bit like that, I would guess, except it's going to be more like virtual.
Immersive, yeah.
Almost like Ready Player One. You seen that movie?
I haven't.
That movie's good.
But I think that essentially they're trying to get it VR to the point that it's indistinguishable from reality, because that's what it's going to be. And I have no idea what's.
Dude paid $450,000
apparently
to be Snoop Dogg.
I didn't fact check it, but that's what was said. And what else did they talk about? Just how you'll have your own universe if you want, basically your own metaverse, or you can go into other people's. You can pay to go into other people's, and you can do everything you want in this metaverse that you can do in real life. But it's going to be. This guy was kind of ridiculing it. If you've ever heard of Tim Dillon, have you heard of him? He's a comedian.
I have not.
He was ridiculing it, and it was pretty funny. But he was getting all excited about it sarcastically, but.
Stuff like that scares me. Even with like virtual reality scares me, because I'm like, how are we ever going to be able to interact with people in the real world if we're all stuck in like virtual stuff? It's already bad with, social medias and TikTok and YouTube, Instagram, stuff like that people are stuck on their phones. Yeah. Like if you have a virtual reality or virtual world where you can go in and like control everything.
It'd be too addicting.
Yeah, no one's going to want to be in the real world at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what's coming, but the future is a little scary in that way.
Oh, absolutely.
We were talking about this the other night, about how you can't really blame our parents for a lot of our generation being messed up, because they had no idea what was going on with the technology in our heads at 11 to 19 years old, and how it developed us.
Yeah. Yeah, we were, and just how, like, whenever you're, my parents started letting me play video games. Like we got our first Xbox whenever it's in, first or second grade. So like I'm pretty sure I had one whenever we were friends in Missouri in West Plains.
You guys had an Xbox?
Whenever you moved, we had our like first Xbox there, and you're playing video games and stuff, and already at that young age, like it's already getting to you where you're like, okay, let's just sit down and play video games and entertain myself through that instead of going outside or doing these other things.
Right.
So it was just, so interesting to kind of grow up like that. And then we were talking about it too, where it's like, man, with my kids, eventually, whenever that happens, if God blesses me with them, like, there's no way I'm gonna let him have a cell phone.
Yeah,
right?
no,
I'm like, no way.
Can't do it.
Yeah, like come on.
There's too much freedom out there.
Yeah, I feel like I know too much. I'm like, yep, you're just gonna have to suck it up and deal with it at least until high school.
Yeah. I really don't know how our parents could have even tried to deal with it, because they didn't have anything like that in the 1970s, 80s, 90s.
No.
Nothing even close to a Wikipedia, quick Google search of whatever you want in the world, and it's like there. It's bizarre. They actually had to navigate places with a map.
Yeah, I can't remember. There's some I can't remember who it is, but some theologian talks about like losing the sense of wonder with electronics that we have, because now you don't ever have to wonder about anything. Like if you were to ask a question, who scored the most points ever, like in the NBA, in the old days, you'd sit there and you'd like wonder about it and be like, okay, maybe I have to go to a library and like look this up, or like you'd think about it and try to figure it out on your own. And then eventually like a week or two later, someone would know it and you'd be able to ask them, or you'd see it in a book, but now it's like right when you have any sort of question, you just pull up your phone.
Hey Siri.
Enter Google. Yeah. Hey Siri.
Did I pick up anybody's Siri? Did I hit it?
Nope.
No.
Didn't get mine. But yeah, you just like lose that sense of wonder and like awe a lot of times, because you just have all the information right at your fingertips.
Instant gratification.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But can you imagine like you're talking about our parents having no idea what the technology was like for us because they didn't grow up with it. Dude, what's the technology going to be like in 20 years?
I still feel I feel that we'll have a better understanding of it, or at least maybe a better heads up because of what we went through.
Yeah.
And for those of us that still have our heads on straight, might be able to help out our kids.
Yeah.
But I still think it will be difficult. It's not going to be an easy process.
Definitely not.
But I mean, I can't imagine raising children has ever been a fantastically easy process. I don't know.
It's super easy, right? Just give birth to them. Hey, there you go.
Food, water, shelter. Yeah. Basic needs.
That's pretty much it.
That's all you need, right?
Yeah, I don't got to teach them anything else.
Don't need emotional connection or any kind of support.
No. That's not necessary. Yeah.
I really couldn't imagine. Like, I used to think I'd be able to. I still think I'd be able to get anywhere I wanted without a phone, but it's like I would get so frustrated not having the ability to just Google Map it or go do what I need to.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that would be like. And coming up to school, I'd get lost 8 to 10 times if I hadn't, like the first times coming to college, you know? I don't know. You didn't have to travel very far. You guys were in Manhattan.
Yeah, we were. So I knew where everything was. I kind of knew where everything was at. But I mean, even like when you're first learning to drive or stuff like that, or even like coming here, like whenever I was driving to Atchison, I had to put it in my Google Maps because I mean, I knew I went through Topeka, but that was about it. I'm like, I got to go this direction and get that to that point and then figure it out from there.
Got to go off signs.
Yeah.
I wonder if we'll ever hit any kind of, if the grid will go out, we'll have an apocalyptic world to have to traverse.
I hope not.
I hope not either, but you never know.
How would that occur? What would happen?
When I say the grid going out, I think I'm concerned. You always hear things about like, oh, China's going to take over, or this is going to happen, or that's going to happen. So that's where my head's at, as far as you might have a Red Dawn situation where you can't contact anybody, cell phone towers are down, all these other things have happened, and now you can't even charge your phones, you're just completely back to primitive era. So I think that's where my head goes. It'd be like an invasion to have an apocalyptic world, and
So would it just be an apocalyptic United States, or would it be an apocalyptic
probably just
world?
more United States, because we'd fight back.
Yeah.
I hope and pray. You know what I mean? Hope we don't just succumb. But maybe that's what's happening behind the scenes, and we don't even know it.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out some way to not have to use electricity to run stuff. Maybe.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know.
Tyson, you know how to generate electricity, right? Kinda.
Maybe.
Kinda. I think I could do it. I think I could do it with a water turbine.
Yeah.
Can't you do it with like a potato too?
Yeah, but that's like it has electricity, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how they did that back in middle school. I remember seeing that experiment.
The, like, potato lights,
they stuck the probes in it, and then it's like, oh look, I lit up an LED.
Yeah.
How did you do that? I always made the volcanoes. I always did the vinegar and the whatever the other shit was, baking soda, and it shot out. So,
Dude, my middle school science fair project, I did windshield wiper sunglasses.
windshield.
So I made sunglasses that had like a little wiper on them, and you could like press it. So if you're wearing them when it was raining, because you know you'd obviously always have to wear sunglasses if it's raining outside because it's so sunny.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So then you would use the little wiper thing and
Was it like
wipe it off.
was it like duct taped, or how did you go about manufacturing that? Because that's impressive. As a what year? What grade?
It was like 4th or 5th grade. Yeah,
pretty
something
impressive.
like there. I think it was almost like, you know how on a rowboat you have like the things that hook into your oars and you're able to like move your oars back and forth?
Yeah.
It was kind of like that. So it was like a circle thing that hooked in and had like the wiper was able to move back and forth through it.
Okay.
So then you would like press down and it would be able to go down and up and yeah, like back and forth basically.
That's really impressive. I was not manufacturing things at
I mean,
12 years old.
It really was the silliest idea ever, though, because like I said, when are you gonna be wearing sunglasses when it's raining?
Dad, you got a point
Like,
there too.
that would make a lot of sense, doesn't it? So
We
I
could-
just thought
we
that
could-
was funny.
Pitch that to Dr. Sprouse. See what he thinks of it. What do you think, Tyson?
Let's not pitch anything to that guy.
I thought about going on Shark Tank with it, you know, but Mark Cuban kind of shot me down. He was like, "No, it's $1 million idea, but it's not one for us, you know." Yeah.
Wait 10 more years.
Yeah,
Wait
exactly.
for the next generation.
So
I can't remember any of my other science experiments in middle school. I think I had one that we put a bunch of mirrors on like a... What did we actually do that for, though? We were trying to melt something. We broke up a bunch of mirrors and had like a kind of a bowl, a really shallow bowl shape, and glued it all around, and then we stuck it out in the sun and let it focus on one spot. But I can't remember what we were trying to burn or what we were trying to...
turn a grape to a raisin real quick, maybe.
Something like that, yeah. See if we could... Oh, maybe we were just trying to find the focal point. Yeah, because it was my buddy Matthew, his mom's an eye doctor, and so that's kind of the idea. We were finding where it was that it focuses in, like your eyeball has... where it focuses back to wherever.
Yeah.
I don't know optometry, but...
Something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a cool one.
that was it.
You ever have used the magnifying glasses to burn ants when you were a kid?
I didn't I didn't fit that stereotype. But I did play with my magnifying glasses. They're fun.
Yeah, well, that's kind of just what it made me think about it, is trying to... I think I never burned any ants, but I took my sister's Barbie doll out there once and lit it on fire.
Yeah.
I was pretty excited about that.
Which one? Which sister?
It was Emily's, I think.
That's so rude.
Yeah,
That's
I know, right?
That's traumatizing.
Yeah, somehow she still loves me, so, you know.
That's unconditional.
It turned out okay. Yeah. The other science fair project that I did, this was like 7th grade. Me and one of my buddies, his name was Keaton, we did maglev. Like we turned a Hot Wheels car into like a maglev car with a track,
Really?
which was really, really cool. It was kind of hard because maglev is obviously like really difficult.
Yeah.
So
You had to guide it, I'm sure. Like
we couldn't figure out. Well, we got it to the point where, like, we had big magnets on the back side of it, and we were able to like boost them. So we put a magnet on the back of the car, and then it's like hovering, right? And then you would like pull it back tight to this magnet that's at the back and let go, and it would like boost it and shoot it off.
Okay.
It was really a cool project. It didn't work for a long time because the magnets started like breaking and stuff.
Oh.
And they started like getting pulled out, and the glue we had wasn't super strong, but it worked long enough to get it in the science fair. And
That's pretty cool.
yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah.
And that was like, that would have been like 2014 maybe. So it's like early on whenever maglev wasn't like huge yet. Because now they have the trains or whatever in...
Elon Musk is working on some kind of underground, the Hyperloop, I think it is. I don't even know if that's... He's actually just like vacuuming it, making it a vacuum outside of the train. So it's like a big tube, and they're sucking all the air out of it and sticking a train in it so that there's like no air resistance. I don't know if they're doing much with magnets on it. But
they're trying to do that under the ocean too, aren't they? Or like in the ocean where they can...
they might be. I don't even know.
Because I saw a video about it maybe last week where it was talking about getting a
Or you messed up over there? Sorry.
No, I was just messing with you guys.
Oh, okay.
It was talking about getting like a train connected from like North America to the European continent, and talked about how like you could build a tunnel on the bottom of the ocean floor, and then as your train like starts, it would suck all the air out, and then it'd be able to travel at like 1,000 miles an hour or whatever, like
Really?
super duper fast, because the air resistance is all out and it's maglev, so there's no friction on the bottom of like wheels, and then there's no air resistance,
You'd be
so
able
it
to
just
make that
flies.
thing zoom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
It's like, how would the human body experience that though? 'Cause-
All they'd have to do is make sure that the acceleration wasn't crazy fast. You can
Okay.
we can go 1,000 miles an hour, no problem. It's just we can't go 0 to 1,000 in a second, because then
Okay.
it's like everything is dead.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. I'm like, man, your stuff insides would just like
Separate.
explode if you went super fast. Yeah, right away.
Kind of a gory thing, but I've heard this before, that people who have jumped from buildings, they don't always die because of hitting the ground. If they land on their feet, stuff starts to separate inside, so like their heart separates from arteries and stuff. Yeah, sorry about that.
That's crazy.
Over there. But yeah, I've heard that before. Whether that's true or not, maybe it's a...
Well, I knew a lot of times, like people that would jump from buildings would have like the G-force knocks them out for a second or whatever, because they jump and they start falling so fast or whatever that
That probably just scares them.
it could they get knocked out some way and
Yeah.
pass out, and then I don't know if they hit the ground and feel it, or if they wake up right before. Imagine that, passing out and then waking up right before you hit the ground.
I watched a video with my dad recently of this girl. She was in a just like an amusement park ride. She was getting sat down, put in, and it was one with big rubber bands that shoot you off up into the air, and you get bounced around.
Okay.
And the guy didn't give him a countdown, so they're sitting there just kind of waiting there. He's like, all right, you guys ready? And they kind of look at him, and he hits it, and they get slung off, and she goes up for about 3 seconds, and then she's just out. Like, she goes limp, and then she kind of wakes back up, and she's like, and back out. She's just flailing around limp. It's so funny. I love watching people pass out on different carnival rides and stuff.
So my roommate Nick and I were talking about this hypothetical the other day. We had one of our roommates that was asleep on the couch, and we're like, okay, so if you you can hit someone so much to hard enough to knock them out.
Right.
Like if someone's asleep and you punch them hard enough to knock them out, would they wake up after? They wouldn't wake up on the impact of the punch.
Right.
Probably, because they'd be knocked out from it, right? So then after they wake up after
hold on. They're already asleep.
they're already asleep.
You hit them to knock them out.
You punch them hard enough to knock them out.
Okay.
So then they're knocked out instead of asleep. When they wake up, would they just wake up not knowing they had been knocked out? Would they wake up being like, "Damn, that was a tough nap. Why the
My jaw hurt.
what's going on?" So we were just talking about it. We're like, I wonder what would be the case.
I bet they'd wake up very sore. I bet
Yeah.
because I bet for an instant they're awake getting punched.
But would
it-
they know?
No, it'd be so instantaneous. It's like hitting asleep, right back to it. I bet they'd just wake up sore. I think you're right. They'd be so confused, wouldn't know what was going on. But I bet they'd wake up shortly after, because people who get
Yeah.
knocked out, they're kind of out for a second, and then they wake back up, and they're like, "What the heck happened?"
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Because whenever you see someone in boxing or whatever get knocked out on a punch, they're down for 5 seconds, 7 seconds or something, and then their eyes start to flutter open, and they're like, okay, they're back.
Yeah, probably just a bizarre dream. You'd be like, "What the hell?"
So so then could you hypothetically have someone asleep, punch them real hard, knock them out, and then sit down next to them or in the couch or something, and pretend that you didn't do anything, and they just wake up and you're like, what the hell happened?
I think you could get away with it.
Yeah.
Timed and planned correctly. I think you could do it. Do you have any intentions?
Did you woke up sore this morning at all?
No, I guess
Okay,
not.
well then we're good. Yeah.
We're good so far. No targets.
You haven't been knocked out yet, so.
No,
Although I don't know if I could punch someone hard enough to knock them out.
you can. I think it's all because you see little punches where people get knocked out and it's like nothing. It's just got to be the right punch. I don't think it takes much at all.
Okay.
I don't know. I've only seen a select amount of UFC fights, but there's definitely some where you're like, okay, that wasn't that hard of a punch, but they had a loose jaw or something, and that's all they needed, so they went to sleep. Have you watched much UFC or big fights maybe?
I watched some big fights, yeah, and then like just YouTube videos of stuff.
Yeah.
Where like I watched a YouTube video of like a heavyweight UFC bout for the belt, and the two dudes are like literally got blood everywhere.
Yeah.
Like blood streaming from both sides of their face, and they're both still standing. I'm like, how the heck are you absorbing punches and still like laying punches on another person?
Yeah.
In this much like blood and pain and it's crazy. It's
a lot of times in the heavyweights, they can't move as well, so they just start squaring up and
literally
teeing off on each
they
other.
just see who has a stronger jaw. They're like, let's see who can take more.
Did you ever play UFC? Any of the?
Oh yeah.
I love those, man.
They're so much fun.
I always play with Joe Rogan, and his kicks are stupid. You land one, and the dude's asleep every time. Every time you're gonna knock him out.
Yeah.
But
I liked Conor McGregor. He was always my go-to. I could never figure out though on UFC games like how to do clenches.
Yeah.
Like hold it like. If someone did that's why I could never play against a computer, because the computer would get me into a submission thing and I could never get out of it. I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, spamming buttons. I'm like, I can't get out of this.
Yeah, I never went into grappling. I was never good at it, and me and my buddies, we would play it, and somebody would end up getting some missed, and we're like, I don't know how I did that. So like, ultimately, don't know what just happened, but it's fun.
It's the other one. Did you ever play the WWE ones?
No.
Dude, WWE, we had one game, I can't remember what year it was. It was probably like a 2018 WWE game, but you could like download characters. So we like downloaded like Spider-Man and Captain America and Thor and
That's awesome.
had a Shrek and just stuff like that. So you're coming out with these like random like Marvel characters or superheroes or stuff. And that game was just so much fun because you'd just be hitting people with chairs and knocking people down and stuff. And literally you could go the entire game without getting a submission on anyone, but just try to see who could get like
Knock
more
everybody.
blood and like break everyone's bones, because you'd end up with like an arm that's like broken and you couldn't use it anymore. So then you'd be punching with one arm.
Oh my
and,
gosh.
Oh, dude, it was fun.
That reminds me of, there's a game Blitz. Do you remember Blitz?
I don't think
you know
I ever
Blitz?
played it.
Talking about the football one?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think it's one where you had like injuries all the time, and you'd run off to the sideline, and you'd be like, do you want to juice this guy up, or do you just want to let him be injured? And you could juice him up, and you'd see some crazy graphic of his bones healing back together, and then he'd run right back in the game, dude. It was intense. I didn't play it that much, but I remember those little details of people having a snapped leg, and you're like, oh my gosh.
Well, I remember when I was a kid, this was back when we lived in West Plains, we would always play the NASCAR. It was like NASCAR 2004 or 5 or something.
You go backwards.
And you'd go backwards, and you'd try to explode just other cars, and because yours was like invincible or whatever, and you'd try to explode everyone else's cars in a race.
Yeah.
That was so much fun.
That was fun.
It was so stupid.
I used to love New Super Mario Bros. Do you ever play that one on the Wii?
Mm-hmm.
That one, we said Smash Bros. Those two were my favorite on the Wii and GameCube, because that's kind of when they played that. But Smash Bros. Is so much fun. I went to Annika's house like a year ago, and her little brother has Super Smash Bros. I played it for probably, I don't know, 3 hours a day while I was there, because mainly because I had nothing else to do, and everybody was doing something, so like, I'll just play on his Nintendo Switch all day. So, Smash Bros. Was the shit.
Yeah, so one of our really good friends, he'll come over. He has a Switch, and he'll come over and bring Smash over, and we'll have like Smash nights or whatever where we play. And every once in a while, he'll leave his Smash at our house, and we're like, yes, Eli left his Smash. So we'll hook it up, and like there was probably a month stretch where like earlier this year where every single day like I'd be in class, and Nathan would text and be like, okay, I'm getting home from my class right now. Someone better be on the couch with Smash ready to go, because I'm ready to destroy some people. And like you'd just be getting out of class and literally going home and playing Smash right away.
No
and you'd play for 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, and
love it.
You'd stop to eat and go to the bathroom, and that's about it. Yeah,
that's awesome.
That was so fun.
We didn't get to play as many video games as I was hoping to here at the end of the semester, Tyson. I was really hoping we get to play a little more Minecraft and just make a ridiculous kingdom.
Yeah.
I was gonna start making my big outposts, and I was showing you kind of what those would look like just out on the outer edges. But we got caught up with stuff. So we'll have to. Hopefully, we needed to start scheduling Minecraft.
Yeah, we'll
Minecraft
schedule it
days.
into the workload.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Here's a fun idea. What if your house and my house built a world together?
We could start a realm. If we have 6, 8 guys.
You
doing
got
a realm,
6. We got 5 at our house that all play.
We only have 4 that really play. Jackson's thinking about playing. He's kind of considering.
I know some guys that play.
I know a few that probably would
Yeah,
too.
we got like
get a
12
full
people.
server.
How many people can you have on a server? Is there like a limit?
I think a
at
realm
time?
has like 18 or 24 or something like that.
Probably whatever your internet can.
Yeah, what it can handle.
Realms are weird because realms, like you buy a realm and it works on the works on like Mojang's server. So your internet doesn't have to be super strong. It works on Mojang's server and it's open 24/7. So like typically on your world, right, you have to be like logged on in your
One of them has
Xbox
to- yeah.
for someone else to log on to it. But with a realm, like the realm is always open and you can log on to it whenever you want.
Yeah, and split that 12 ways. That's probably not that bad of a price.
I think it's $7 for
Okay, so-
$7 a month to like keep it running.
Less than $1 for everybody. That'd be a good time.
I'd be a little worried though if it was like a maybe like a Hunger Games type game or something like where like somebody gets on and making a bunch of progress while we're doing homework.
Yeah. Are you guys? Do you have anybody that's chaotic? Destroy everything, take everything.
We have no one. We always have made the rule that like you can't steal someone else's stuff. Like if it's in their chest, you can't steal it.
Okay.
If you kill someone, then you could like take their loot if you wanted to.
Okay.
We'd never really had like battles like that because there were a couple of us that played on the computer and like computer would always win if you were playing that because it's just quicker, better, like easier to use, I guess. So we always had the rule, you can't loot anyone's stuff and like you can't destroy builds.
Okay.
So if the build was up there, like you weren't putting TNT under it or something. But we would definitely have like prank wars where you'd prank each other and
I'd be okay with that.
stuff like that. So
I think rules would have to be established.
Oh yeah.
Just because I don't think anybody in our house would be. They're too new to Minecraft to want to go destroy everybody else's stuff. They'd be too scared.
They're learning.
Yeah, they're learning. I think it'd be a good time though. We'll figure that out. Well,
Get it going.
But what about the Exodus thing?
Yeah, if we do Exodus 90, then there's no
We'll
way
have to
that
wait. We'll have to wait.
we'll have to
3
wait
months.
90 days. Yeah, but do it at the spring break time. We can start it up.
Do you want to remind me of
man.
the Exodus 90? All the criteria, if you remember them off the top
I
of your
can
head.
try to remember as many as I can off the top of my head. So, have you heard of Exodus 90, Tyson?
I've heard of parts of it.
Okay, so it's basically like 90 days, starts on January 17th, goes till Easter, of prayer, asceticism, and fraternity is the 3 things that it focuses on. So it's just a program to help like men. It's based for men, and it's to help men like grow in their spiritual lives and grow in discipline, spiritual discipline, grow in brotherhood, those kinds of things. So you have to have a nightly anchor check-in. Then your anchor is like another person that you're doing it with that you talk to every single day. So you talk to your anchor every day. You have an hour of adoration or holy hour of like prayer every day. You do cold showers every single day. You do music that only lifts the soul to God. It's the only type of music you can listen to. No television or televised sports. That's the one that's going to kill me. It's like March Madness is right in the middle of
Oh yeah.
Exodus 90, Super Bowl. Like, dude,
Oh my gosh.
missing those is like, that is going to kill me if I do it. So no televised sports, no television, no video games, only phone use is like necessary phone use only, necessary computer use only. So like homework, texting people, maps, stuff like that.
Yeah. Did you put any more thought into getting that Wise phone?
Yeah, I think I'm going to do it.
Really?
Yeah, I think I will. It's hard to like let go of my iPhone to go with it, but I think it'll be like really beneficial for me.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to do it.
It's a phone that has like calendar, mail, text, phone, or call somebody and what else?
Maps, and like calculator.
Only essentials.
Only essential stuff on the phone is allowed.
Can't even get anything else, right?
There's no Google. There's no like apps, games, stuff like that. Yeah, it's called a Wise phone. It's pretty interesting. But
That's interesting.
so I'm gonna try. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go to that instead of going on my iPhone, so I can get off of like video games, Clash of Clans. I've played way too much. Just those kinds of things.
Yeah.
So that's some of the disciplines. Some other ones is like fasting on Wednesdays and Fridays, abstaining from meat on Wednesdays and Fridays. Let's see what else. Nightly examine is one of them. At least an hour of physical exercise every day. So working out, playing basketball, doing some sort of physical exercise every single day. I feel like I've hit on most of them. Weekly fraternity meetings. So like you meet with your group of guys that you're doing it with once a week.
So how many have you gotten to kind of accept or go into it? Are they, you say they're more like if you can get others?
Yeah, I have 4 guys right now that are like semi-interested that haven't fully committed. They're like, oh, maybe. And
am I one of those 4?
No, you would be the 5th. Yeah. So yeah, they're just like kind of committed, but haven't fully committed to anything yet. So
it's hard to hearing that last night. It was hard for me to think about committing like right away. I'm like,
it's a lot.
I'm prepared to try and get rid of televised sports, get rid of my phone in 90% of the ways I use it.
It is a lot, and it's hard, but everything I've read says, like Exodus 90 is something you're going to fail at. Like you're not going to be perfect.
Yeah.
No one goes through it and finishes perfectly. But like the point of doing it with a brotherhood and with like a fraternity is that when you fail, you have men and like brothers there that can lift you up and be like, you can lean on them whenever you fail, and whenever they fail, they can lean on you, and you are like pushing each other to just like grow and become better and less connected to the world, and pursuing less like worldly desires and pursuing more heavenly desires, and just like getting to that point, which is it's like a enticing thing for me, and that's something that I really desire and hope to be able to do. So
yeah, I told you about my attempt at 75 hard and multiple failures at it. So I always liked the idea of the change, but I think I needed it would definitely be beneficial to have somebody doing it with me.
Yeah.
So that's why, the Exodus thing.
Yeah. And like whenever, you were telling me about your 75 hard and you're doing that alone. And whenever you fail, when you're doing things alone, like it's very easy to fail alone and be like, man, like I suck, or I can't do this on my own.
Discouraging. Very discouraging.
Yeah. You get very discouraged. Exactly. But whenever you have a group of guys that are doing it with you, even if you fail, you're like, well, dang, like, man, I failed I didn't take a cold shower today, but like Justin's taken one. I gotta do it tomorrow to like keep up with him. Yeah. Or, you're just kind of like pushing yourself to get to that point.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. I think
it's good stuff. It's hard. There's like, I keep thinking about it and I keep telling myself like I really want to do it, but then I keep looking at it, I'm like, golly, this is going to be tough though. Like that's going to be so hard.
It's such a change of lifestyle.
It is 100% a change of lifestyle. Yeah.
That's what would be difficult.
I think about it too, and I'm like, this would be so good for me for like schoolwork, because I would have to do schoolwork because it's going to be one of the only things that I'm able to do. Like it'd be good for my guitar playing because
you'd have time.
I'll have time to just play guitar. I'll be stretching more, like, which would be good. I have like the free time to do that if I'm not watching TV, if I'm not
on your phone.
On my phone. I'd be reading more books. Yeah, I think that's another one is you have to read some every day. And then
you said something from Exodus, right? But are you supposed to also read outside of that?
So the app has like a Exodus reading and reflection, and you're reading like the whole 90 days. You're reading through the book of Exodus, so that's called Exodus 90, and it's supposed to emulate the journey of the Israelites because right at the end of Genesis, Moses, I guess at start of Exodus, end of Genesis, Moses is getting the people of Israel out of Egypt. Right, and as he's getting them out of Egypt, they have this 40 years in the desert or however long. I don't know if it's 40 years or not, but they have this time in the desert where they are all the people are complaining like, man, whenever we were in Egypt, we might have been working, but at least we were like well fed. Yeah. Or in Egypt, at least like we were slaves and we were enslaved to all these things of the Egyptians, but at least we had a roof over our heads and we weren't like traveling in the desert, stuff like that. So it's like emulating the people of Israel and saying like, well, as humans right now, we're enslaved to a lot of worldly things. I mean, video games, television, cell phones, like you're you find yourself enslaved to a lot of those worldly possessions and desires, and it's like giving up that slavery and getting out of that slavery to like pursue a life more fully with Jesus, you know, with God. So
Yeah.
It's
interesting.
Yeah.
And that's, man, I like want to commit to it, but I can't. I can't commit to it.
I know.
Right off the top of my head. I was gonna ask why Exodus? Is there a reason for it? Just that the fact that it's emulating what they did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the main part. Is it's just because of the fact that it's the book of Exodus is about the Israelites being freed from slavery.
Gotcha.
And like wandering through the desert and eventually culminating in like finding the promised land of Jerusalem in that area, and you know, the land that God promised to his people, getting to that at the end of the book of Exodus. So yeah.
So what do you think? Say you go through it, of course not perfectly, but go through it the full 90 days, do a good job, maybe advance in different ways in spiritual and just your daily life. Do you think you would fall back into plenty of the different ways of daily life that you have now? You think so?
Yeah, that's tough.
Because that's something I think I would probably be like, oh, it's over. Let's go back to how it was before.
And that's part of why I want to like switch. If I'm gonna commit to it, I want to switch to the Wise phone instead of my iPhone, so I can get rid of that. I think even like somewhat, just from my experience without having an Xbox for the last 3 years, like whenever my Xbox broke my freshman year, I was playing a ton, and I've like played a lot of video games all my freshman year of college, and then my Xbox broke and I didn't buy a new one. So I went without one for 2.5 years, and then I got another one this year. Like I was telling you, from my friend, he bought a new Xbox S, so he gave me his old Xbox. And since I got it, like I really don't play that much. I don't play even close to like what I used to. So I think like if I deprive myself of some of those things for a long enough time, obviously I'm not going to take cold showers the rest of my life. Like I want to go back to warm showers or like having sweet drinks or something like those things. But I think it'll help me in regulating the amount that I do those types of things.
Okay.
Right? Because like right now, for example, I was telling you, I've been watching a lot of Naruto.
Yeah.
And I can't get myself to do it in moderation where I watch 1 episode or 2 episodes. So I'm like, if I am able to go 90 days in like this Exodus 90 and deprive myself of it for that long, then maybe whenever it's over, I can come back and instead of watching 10 episodes of Naruto in a day, watch one episode.
Right.
Watch 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And then be done with it like that. And like have these other things that are defined and laid out that I know I need to do. Like whether that be prayer or reading a book or
playing guitar,
going to daily mass, playing guitar, stuff like that, to continue in those things. Yeah.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I try and I think I told you about the book Atomic Habits.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've had different things that I've tried to implement in my life, and a lot of times I think the biggest problem I have is I try to do too many things at once. So it's like I want to get up early. I'm also going to work out as soon as I get up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to change my diet. And that's one of the reasons they say people fail with having multiple New Year's resolutions is if you try and make that many changes to your life just instantaneously, it's not going to work out. Your body's not ready for the change, whatever it is. So I think it's probably more doable having somebody to hold you accountable and then going through it, and even when you fail, you're still being lifted up. So I think that's where I'm drawn to the idea of it.
I think a lot of times too with people, especially like New Year's resolutions, they'll want like something to change. Like for example, you said like getting up and working out. They'll want that to like become a thing for them, but they won't do the extra step of like, for me to get up early, maybe I have to go to bed at 10 o'clock instead of like I've been going to bed at midnight every night because I'm staying up and watching a television show. Watching Naruto.
Right.
Or having drinks with the friends or, you know, going out. They're like, they want to be able to stay up late to midnight to do that and then wake up at 6 a.m. to work out. You're like, if you're trying to change your life in this aspect and like wake up earlier and work out, you can't continue to live staying up late and drinking or watching TV or like doing those things.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
you
you
have
gotta-
to do both.
Make the sacrifices to make the gains.
Yeah, because for every decision that you make, you're giving up another thing.
Yeah.
Whether that decision be to sit and watch TV rather than, you know, read a book, or if you're choosing to read a book, then you can't sit and watch TV.
Right.
Like you have to, it's either or all the time. Like with all the decisions that we make most of the time, yeah. So
Something else on decisions. I don't know if you've ever seen with like Mark Zuckerberg or Steve Jobs. You know how they were always wearing the same thing. Mark Zuckerberg always had a hoodie on. Steve Jobs always had the turtleneck.
okay,
Just as far as success goes, and that's something I've talked about before. I've tried in different ways to imitate how people are successful, and one of the things they said was on decisions. So when those people are doing that type of thing of wearing the same item of clothing or similar style of clothing every day, they're eliminating the decision, the irrelevant decision on our lives to wear something different than what they were. They're just wearing the same thing. They don't have to think about what they're going to wear. They just go put on the same shirt, put on the same. So I actually had Annika, I put it on my Christmas list. I didn't think she was going to get it for me. She got me 10 of this same long sleeve gray shirt.
okay.
And so I've been wearing them every day. And it's like, I still have plenty of other shirts I pick out and grab, but ultimately I've been grabbing them. I just grab one, put it on, grab one, put it on. And it's like, I don't think about it. So it sounds silly, but it's like such a small thing and a small decision that you can eliminate as far as that, you know, you might call it wasted time, but it's just, I don't know.
Wasted time, or a sense of, I'm sure for some people, not for me, but for some people, there's like anxiety in the clothes that you pick out. You're like, oh, am I going to look good today for this person?
I don't ever have to
yeah.
decide again.
Yeah.
If I don't want
always
to.
are looking great.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Go and grab fit every day.
Yeah. What time did you have to leave? Sorry, I just...
Pretty soon here.
Pretty quick?
Yeah, 5 or 10 minutes probably.
Okay, I was going to say, you want to wrap up or you want to...
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Sounds good to
brother,
me.
this has been a great time.
Yeah, I've loved coming up here. It's great to meet Tyson and Hannah and just,
Yeah, we had 2 guests in the studio today.
yeah.
I don't know which camera we're on right now, but there we are.
We're on the global.
We're on the global. Behind the camera, Hannah and Tyson. Thank you guys for sitting in and listening. Hannah, did you have a good time?
Yep.
Good. Good.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming up, brother.
Absolutely. It was great.
I'll think more about the Exodus 90 thing, though.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
it's
know.
fine.
I just don't know yet.
I know, it's a big decision. So, yeah.
Tyson, are you
No
interested?
Yeah, we could probably do that together.
Are you interested?
Yeah, we could, you know, if you don't want to do the whole thing, we could pick out some things that, you know, like you said, some things are kind of hard to do all at once. But
Yeah. All right. Well, you might have
I
another
like that.
brother in the fraternity.
Yeah, I like it.
So. All right.
It's cool.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time. This has been John Ostermann, by the way. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. If I
I don't think I
the
ever.
entire time.
I never introduced
Yeah.
you. Oh, well.
You can re-record the start of it
The
right
whole
here.
time. Yeah. Did you fade to black? Did we already fade to black? Nice.
fade black.
Hey, there we go.
Perfect.